You mentioned that the three EPs, that the kind of the starting point was you going through a breakup. Um, do you censor? Would you censor yourself in what you were saying?
No.
Okay.
Nah. I mean, I did just about everything except use the person's name.
Right.
And like, I think, like when something's honest, you shouldn't be afraid to talk about it. Because if it's how you feel, like, other people don't have to agree with you, but I think everybody has a right to say how they feel. So.
And does this particular person does he or she know what it's about?
Yeah, I mean, kinda. I think she kind of like lost touch with me, but it's
Okay.
all good. My whole thing was like, I just wanted to, like, I felt like if I'll use the they, if they wouldn't listen, then maybe they would, if that
Right.
makes sense. You
Sure.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that important to have to talk about something that people can relate to? That have you heard stories from people that heard you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think like the biggest example of that is "I Hate You, I Love You," where like millions of people have said like, "This is something I've been through," or "This is something I can understand," because like that's just such a universal sensation, you know.
Do you remember when you started that song? Where it kind of came
Yeah,
from?
I started that because Olivia O'Brien covered my first original song,
Okay.
and I invited her to a show in the Bay because she was from there, and she's from Napa Valley. And when she was there, I was like, "Hey, if you ever write anything original, let me know." And so she shot me that demo, and then basically like we went back and forth. I made a beat for it, and I was gonna like give it to her, and then she ended up coming down and cutting the vocal on it. And then I went on this grand adventure with somebody, and on the other side of the adventure, I had all these feelings about it, and I kind of like concluded all these thoughts I had, and it was kind of like the last message I was gonna like put out there about the situation, and then it turned into like this massive thing, and it was kind of cool because it was like so much hard work leading up to it, and making all this music and doing it all on my own like turned into like something so cool. So.
Is that song for you? Is that kind of the turning point where, as
Absolutely.
far as, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It like confirmed me as an artist that people like know my name. Like it's almost, I mean, I'm not gonna say household, but like hopefully second single will be household name. But this one is like very much so like the internet is like down, and like I mean like it went #1 in Australia and all these different
Right.
places that I've never even been before. So like that was definitely the song that was like the turning point of like, oh, this guy is like I was a DJ. So
Right.
like, oh, he's not a DJ anymore. He's like making this music and people know about him, and so that was cool.
And you say that this is kind of the last track where you talked about these particular feelings. So this chapter is closed now. Have you? I suppose you have, but have you written since then? And then what direction are you headed in now?
Yeah, I mean, so now like since like that was like kind of like a feeling era I went through, I think that it's way easier to be sad than it is to be happy. And so in my life, I've been really focused on like just being positive and being a source of light in everybody's lives around me instead of a source of darkness. And I think that it was nice when I was like sad Garrett, who could like relate to everybody and be like, man, I've been there. Like, but now when people tell me sad stuff, I'm just like, man, I'm sorry about that. Like, do you want to go smile? Like, do you want to like have a better day? Like, let's go have a better day. And then like that's how I kind of treat it now. So like now what I'm going towards is not just like, oh, everybody should be happy, but like just how I feel and like the feelings I relate to, and other feelings about family and about like, you know, loss of other things, and just, you know, I'm just tackling any emotion. I want to tackle, by the end of my career musically, I want to be able to say that like I've documented most of the feelings I've had. So like so far like I've pretty well documented like what I consider like retribution, happiness, sadness, breakups, like fake friends, just different things like that, like feeling confused, feeling misled, feeling amazing about somebody, all those different things. So now I'm taking those concepts and I'm expanding them to a level that like the world can understand, and I think that that's like what the music is moving forward.
For you yourself, writing and singing and rapping about these types of issues, does it help give you an understanding of
Yeah,
yourself?
absolutely. Like what I always say is like it's like selfless and selfish at the same time, because when I make a song, I'm putting it out there. So like for example with like, let's say like You Only Call Me When It's Raining Out, which is like a fun one that everybody bounces to at the show and stuff. When I made that, I actually like got a call for the first time in months from the person that I was making all this music about.
Okay.
On a day it was raining. So she literally called me when it was raining out, so I was like, all right, well, maybe that's something other people have felt before. So I put that out, but when I put that out, it's almost like, are you like feeling me? Well, they're listening to it, so I guess they do feel me. So then that makes me feel better. But then they're saying, well, you feel me because I'm listening to this. So then they're appreciating me. Right. So I'm kind of, by just like documenting it in a song and putting it down how I felt, there's a bunch of people that are like, oh, let's keep this cycle going. This feels good. And then they hit me up and they're like, thank you for that. And I'm like, yo, thank you for saying something. That means that you've been there too. That makes me feel a lot better. So it's kind of this nice like reciprocity sensation that comes from it.
Right, and then, well, you mentioned the word happiness, and then I went on your Facebook, just had a look around, and there was this article you referred to about happiness.
Yes.
And
my mom put me onto that article. Okay. I think it's great. I took a class in college called The Science of Happiness.
Okay.
And so I took that concurrently with a yoga class my last semester at USC, right before I graduated, because I graduated early so I could go on tour.
Okay.
And so I've always been very into like mindful meditation. Excuse me, and just like focusing on what's coming and how to like make that a bigger, better thing for yourself in the future. So yeah, so that article is great. It really depicts it very well.
And one thing I find interesting about happiness, and especially as it relates to musicians, you now are becoming a public figure. So how does that affect your happiness, or as Thomas Jefferson very accurately called it, the pursuit of happiness?
Yeah, for me, I mean, like, my biggest thing, I've just been off my phone a lot more.
Okay.
Because, like, the bigger you get, the more people want to take an opinion about you. I don't really care what all of them think. I just care what the people that love me think about me. And so if I'm treating them good and I'm being the best person I can be in my day-to-day life, and I'm making an impact on the people around me in a positive manner, then that's the best thing I can do. So yeah, I've just been off my phone quite a bunch, and I've been way happier because of it.
Okay. Yeah, because that is the kind of the dark side of social media, that people have their opinions. Okay, fair enough.
And they don't bother me because they know my light's too bright.
Right. And finally then, because you have these EPs, You, Me and Us, is there are there plans for a full album?
Yeah. But I'm not going there yet. I'm just I'm you know, like if you know me, and people watching this hopefully do, and maybe now they do, you know, I think really far in advance.
Okay.
So I've got a couple years mapped out.
Okay.
From now. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I've got a couple years mapped out from now, and it comes with a lot of fun, and it comes with a lot of great messages that a lot of people are going to be real excited about. But all it takes is that they stay with me and they keep coming to the shows and they keep riding the ride with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope your plan works out.
Oh man, me too, and I hope to see you again next time I'm out here.
All right, thank you very much for
your
your time.
Thank you, man. Absolutely.
Thanks.